Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to this Monday morning with Business Coach Moloy. I hope you guys have been having a fantastic week and a month, festive season on completely and thoroughly. Uh, but let's not lose focus in this midst of the festive season with weddings, with Diwali just gone, the Shera gone before that, Christmas, New Year coming up. Let's not lose focus on the primary reason for how we can enjoy these festivities, and that is the purpose of life. And our purpose of life has to emanate from the business, and the business should keep on growing. Because please remember, whatever period of time you may be doing your closures, whether it's 31st December or whether it's 31st March, those are statutory compliances for the government. It's nothing to do with our business. Our business is a business which goes on and on and on, and every new month is just a new month. April cannot be the beginning. March cannot be the end of this year, and April cannot be the beginning because business is never ending. Pardon my throat. So I had, so I also partied sometime. And I did party on the Saturday evening after a fantastic, and people were watching me from Kolkata. Uh, you would know that the Bengali Business Council had a fantastic convention which happened through the day on the Saturday, the 3rd of December, and evening after a fantastic day. We did go out for a get together and a small party, and I partied and I do party and I do enjoy my life. I do spend time relaxing and not working as a lot of people may think I do. Uh, but from the Bengali Business Council perspective, people who are in Mumbai, get ready for Bengali Business Council in Mumbai coming up soon. You will get to know all the information coming up, and we are going to launch this in the Mumbai chapter very soon in the next 3 to 4 months. Preparations have started. So, having done that, let's go back into our business and life and business transformation series. Today is day 20, and like we said, this is not going to end on day 30. This is going to go on for quite some time. So, last week we spoke about how mindfulness improves decision making, and like Gautam Buddha had said, the secret of health for both mind and body is not to mourn for the past, not to worry about the future or anticipate troubles, but to live in this present moment wisely and earnestly. So I hope you are here with me on this Monday morning on this Facebook Live, because today we are going to speak about emotional bank account. It gets one of those topics that we frequently discuss when we have workshops and other activities going on with organizations. So, what is emotional bank account? An emotional bank account is a metaphor that describes the amount of trust that has been built up in a relationship. It's the feeling of assurance you have with another person. Stephen Covey had said in his book, or written in his book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, when you make enough deposits through kindness, courtesy, honesty, and even keeping commitments, you make deposits in your emotional bank account and you start building up a reserve. And when you have enough deposits and others have established enough trust in you, you can call upon that trust if you need to. Even when things are going wrong or you end up letting somebody down, which we will do, we are human beings, be it that a team member, a customer, a friend, you have sufficient balance that any withdrawal doesn't take you overdrawn. But if you have been through your life or through your relationship unkind, disrespectful, uncaring, mean, you draw from this account. When the trust is high, the communication is easier, quicker, and more effective. If you make enough deposits through courtesy, kindness, honesty, and keeping your commitments, you build up a reserve. This means that on that odd occasion when things go wrong, or you let somebody down, you have sufficient balance that any withdrawal doesn't take you overdrawn. You will realize, ladies and gentlemen, who watch me live or who'll watch me on this, will watch this recording at a later date, that for some people, you just don't want to give. And it makes quite an effort giving, because that person, through his behavior, has not been able to create enough of emotional bank value. But if you have been constantly good, respectful, keeping up your commitments as much as possible with another person, with a client, for example, with a very dear friend of yours, And there will be times when you underperform, when you are harsh, when you have not delivered on time, when for whatever reason you have not responded to that person. You can draw down from that emotional bank balance that you have built over time with that person. And that person will allow forgiveness, will allow let go of the mishap that you have done. Because over the past many months, many years, many days, you have built an emotional bank balance through your goodness of the heart. So it's important to understand that there are how can you build this deposit? And there are major deposits that you can do on your emotional bank balance and how you can make them relevant. The first of them is understanding that individual. One person's mission is another person's mission as well. To make a deposit, what is important to another person must be important to you as the other person is to you. What is his mission is important to should become important to you as much as that other person. You cannot have superficial relationship only liking that person or talking well to that person without understanding the depth of that person. So you need to go deep down and understand why the person is doing what he or she is doing. Recognize that other people's priorities may be different right now. So keeping in contact with your team, answering their questions, listening to their concerns is critical right now. They may be distracted. They may be doing something else. But you have to do what you need to do because you understand that person well. Attending to the seemingly insignificant is important because that person is on a purpose and you understand that person. Kindnesses and courtesies are important. Forms of disrespect make large withdrawal. In relationship, the things can seem insignificant to you can count on others. So suppose you are on a pay cut and you're only getting 80% of your normal pay. The 20% shortfall could just make the difference between just getting by or really struggling to pay the rent or feed the family. This 20% may be insignificant from the employer's perspective. Or if you are the employer, it may seem insignificant to you from as an employer that you have cut down because your business is not doing well. There was COVID in the past. You've cut down that 20%. But the 20% cut may just mean the difference for that other person, your employee, just getting by and really struggling to pay the rent or feed the family. So understanding the depth of that person before you take any decision is extremely critical because the more you understand that person, the more that person is a resource, the more that person is an investment, and more the person is not a mode of you climbing the ladder or achieving success, the more emotional bank balance you will generate. Number two, keeping commitment. Keeping a commitment is a major deposit, breaking one is a major withdrawal. In fact, there's probably no larger withdrawal than to make a promise that's important to someone and then not keep that promise. Don't make a promise if you can't do it. If you promised an update by a certain date to your client, if you promised a delivery schedule, if you promised a payment to your client to your vendor by a certain such date, be sure to do it. Because if you don't do it and you don't give an update, then it is bad news. Because then you're not somebody who is seen by the external people as one keeping commitment. Third, clarify expectations. The causes of relationship difficulties in many cases is often rooted in conflicting or ambiguous expectations. Unclear expectations will lead to misunderstanding, disappointment, and withdrawal of trust. Many expectations are implicit, and the deposit is to make the expectations clear and explicit in the first place. Just look around everybody around you. Is there a matching of expectation? Is there being an explicit communication of this expectation? Let's stop assuming that somebody else around you understands you and the purpose. Go out and explicitly define it to them. And that's where the entire HR trend of a job description, of a KRA, of a KPI comes into play. The more explicit you make, more documented you make, the more likely chances of success. This takes real investment so, of time and effort, but great saves great amount of time and effort in the long run. When expectations are not clear and shared, simple misunderstandings become compounded. Despondency sets in, distrust sets in, not wanting to come to work sets in, not wanting to work with a particular person sets in. And these lead into personality clashes and communication breakdown. But to do this takes courage. To do this, it takes courage because you have to put the other person across the table and say, these are my expectations and what are your expectations, and let's get a match. I say this in multiple forums and the workshops that we did last week, the two workshops that we did the previous week, that every employee is coming to work for you to fulfill his or her personal goals. If that person doesn't see his or her personal goals not getting fulfilled, that person will always be looking out for a change. You want somebody not with low personal goals. You want somebody with relatively high personal goals. Because high personal goals means high effort. And high effort can either come in your organization or from somewhere else. So be clear, be sure that you understand the other person and the reasons for that person. Finally, showing personal integrity. Lack of integrity can undermine almost any effort to create high trust. It goes beyond honesty. Integrity is conforming to the reality of our words, keeping promises and fulfilling expectations. One way of manifesting integrity is to be loyal to those who are not present. Confidentiality about others in your team is paramount. You cannot be talking about somebody else when that person is not in the room because word will spread. This world is full of gossips. You don't allow gossips to override you. Great deposits come in sincere words. I was wrong. I showed you no respect. I am sorry. It takes a great deal of character and strength to apologize. A person must have a deep sense of security to genuinely apologize. It is one thing to make a mistake and another one not to admit it. Now, as a task like what we do every week, if you could do only one thing this week, review the types of deposits and identify just one whereby by doing slightly more with either your customers or your team, you can make a major impact in your emotional bank account. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for staying with us over this last 48 weeks that we have been running these non-stop. All these are available on the media section of my website. Please go out and go out and check any one of them of the past recordings, all there. If anything that I can do for you, as are we are on that mission of impacting the lives of business owners. If we can do anything for you, you just have to drop in a text message, a WhatsApp on my phone, a registration link, filling up the basic form on the website, or just putting in a comment here. Do that, and somebody from my team will reach out to you and we'll set up a call. We are happy to help. Keep writing to us and keep enjoying all the recordings. Take the learnings away and implement in your business. That's the big give. That's the biggest give, in fact. that you can give to all of us. So till next Monday, same place, same time, we catch up again for the Monday morning with Business Coach Maloy. Have a great week and take good care of yourself. Thank you so much.